Hi, and welcome back. My name is Caitlin Catoni, and in this video, we're going to talk about exponents, specifically the mental rules that you can employ with exponents to make sure that you've put things in your calculator properly. First, let me just remind you that we have a video already posted on how to put exponents in your calculator. This is a really tricky thing in chemistry because we use really big numbers. If you've gotten any amount into chemistry class, you've probably already started dividing and multiplying using scientific notation, as we introduced that in the beginning of the semester to get students used to dealing with big numbers, because later on we're going to be using Avogadro's number, which has an exponent of times 10 to the 23rd. So we definitely need to be able to do this. So if you haven't watched this video already, you want to put in exponents in your calculator, I'll link the video up here. The topic today is how to make sure that you've put it in your calculator correctly. Now, we've already talked about actually how to type your math into your calculator, but how are you going to double check? What is the mental cue to know that you've put it in correctly? So I'm going to show you the two exponent tricks, one for multiplication and one for division. So I have some sample problems here. First, let's start with multiplication. When we multiply two things that have exponents, what we do is we focus in on those exponents and we add the exponents. So if we're taking 10 to the second multiplied by 10 to the third, we focus in on those exponents of 2 and 3 and we add them. So 2 and 3 is 5. So our final answer here is going to be 10 to the 5th power. Most of the time in chemistry, we're dealing with scientific notation. So I have another example over here to the right where we are using units or numbers that are in scientific notation. We have 2 times 10 to the second multiplied by 2 times 10 to the third. In this case, we need to do two things. First, we need to look again at the exponents. The exponents are going to add when we talk about multiplication. So 10 to the second and 10 to the third, the 2 and the 3 are going to add to make 5 like they did last time. But now we have this new component where we have the piece that comes out in front of the times 10 to the. That piece here I've highlighted in blue. So we need to take these two values, these two numbers, and multiply them, because that's what we're doing is a multiplication. So we're going to take 2 times 2, which is 4, and that's going to come out in front of our answer. And then we're going to tack on the exponent portion. So 4 times 10 to the power of 5. So we're getting the power of 5 from the addition of the two exponents, and we're getting the 4 from the multiplication of the item that's coming first. So this is how you deal with multiplication. Let's look at how you deal with division. So when we're dividing exponents, now we're going to switch gears. We're going to subtract them. So let's focus in on 10 to the second minus 10 to the fourth. We're going to focus in on the exponent portion there, and we are going to take 2 and subtract 4. Order matters here. You can and will have negative exponents. So 2 minus 4 is a negative 2. So your answer here is going to be 10 to the negative second. Now let's again use a more of a chemistry example and look at these values in scientific notation. So just like we did in the earlier example, we're going to see that we have two parts to focus on. One part is to look at the exponent portion. That exponent portion, 10 to the second divided by 10 to the fourth, you're going to subtract the 2 and the 4. Now let's also focus on the part that's coming out in front at the beginning of our scientific notation, that numerical value there. We are doing a division. So we have to take 5 and divide it by 2. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. And so we're going to have 2.5 and then our exponent times 10 to the negative second. Even if you just are able to recognize when an exponent is going to be negative or positive is going to be a huge factor in helping you make sure that you've plugged things into your calculator correctly. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. As always, let me know in the comments below what other topics you'd like to see videos on.